Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you yet another team race guide / review video where we go over how to do races and review the contents of current race. For this video, we are talking about the Maiden Garden race. Oh, garden. No, it's Maiden Goddess race. I'm sorry for that mispronunciation. But this Maiden Goddess race. Bam. And we're talking about how to do races. Now, races are a team effort thing. That's right, folks. It is a team contribution. Work together. Say hi to the fellow next to you, the guy that's on your side, the guy that you know is in your office room, or you just don't talk to him for a while, or you do talk to him for all the time, and now you gotta talk all the time. That's what a race is. And you guys work together with this giant progression. This is basically a giant progression thing, and you want to complete as much nodes, or laps as possible, or at least enough to get 14. If the competition, is kind of dead, then just kind of work your way towards the 14 laps. And if they just stop moving, you don't have to do any more. But if it's a pretty fierce competition, you want as much laps as possible by the end of the event. These quests vary from members working together on hatching eggs. There's like 13 members must hatch a single monster here. So see, I haven't done it yet. So I just go over here, bam, hatch a monster. And I've done my contribution for that quest. There's a lot of various tasks like ranking up monsters, like commons and rares. So basically, before these events even start, always, here's a really good tip. Always have your, you always have to have your hatchery open. You always have at least one slot open for these races. Always try to have a epic available for people that have to skip the epic node. It's always kind of courteous of you. And always make sure you have your ranking and your extraction open. During this time, you can't rank up anything. You cannot extract anything that's not a common or rare. You cannot. Like if you're working on like a super Dan project like I am, cannot put that aside for now. You cannot do that. There's going to be an upcoming hatchery event coming out. Cannot do that. You can do it maybe like 3 times, but that 4th slot has to be available for your race team. It cannot be that's like, no, you have to do this race. It's a teamwork effort. Talk to your team. Again, it's a team collaboration. You have to work together. You have to be willing to hold off on things for your team, so you may work together to get things done. As you can see here, I have, I just leave the Treezards at like level 1. Like I have a Treezard and I have like an uncommon Greenasaur. I usually just extract. I always just breed another Greensaur, put it in a habitat, and then extract, rank it up, extract it, get my cells back. I think you only lose like 10 a pop, but it's no big deal. Once you have done the extraction a few times, you should have enough to last a while. But always just be prepared for this. Really common monsters to use for ranking and extracting, so you can use the rank again, are Pandakins, Greensaurs. I personally use Treezards and Fire Source for the common thing, because you can just buy the eggs in the shop for like 100 to 400 gold, depending on what it is. You could also breed a Pandakin times a Pandakin to get Fire Swords or Greensaurs. Not Greensaurs, Treezards, whatever have you. So that's how you do the common and uncommon and rare ranking things. The epic ones are really the only ones you have to skip. Like you actually have to go to the quest and just skip it. It does cost around preferably you want to work together with teams. Get a epic ready for that, hatch it. So the price goes significantly down for the person that has to skip it. I'd say each person should save around 200 gems for these events individually. If everyone did pitch in at least 200 gems to skip the epic nodes, like one for every, there's at least one, I believe, for every lap, I think. I don't know. But I've been told that if everyone were to do that, you'd be able to get 30 laps done, no problem. So it's always nice to have a good idea to save up 200 gems. It is doable. It is very, very doable. A lot of people say it's not. It is very doable. Based on just daily goals and dungeons. Really, I think the only reason the people say that is because they're spending it either on rune slot openings or hatching, breeding events, which I'm not even interested in breeding events anymore, to be perfectly honest. I'm just kind of working on super dans, or it's just kind of I'll still like do the rank list, maybe like a few tries, but I wouldn't spend any gems on it. There's just really, because these events are more important because your team gets more out of it. Everyone wins at the end, and this particular race, I will say, everyone pretty much wins. They don't really get first place only gets the rank 3 monster and a rank 1 monster too. Second place also gets a rank monster, but beyond that, the rewards here are really, really nice. I'd say this is probably the nicest race ever, where everyone just kind of gets a really, really nice female competitive monsters. There's so many good monsters here. Regardless of what you place, it's still really, really good. As a tree, you get like 16 through 20, you get an unranked epic monster, yes, but it's a Bonnie Bark. Bonnie Bark's amazing. And 11th to 15th gets a rank 2 version of it, which is also a really sweet deal. It's just a really good epic monster. But yeah, what else is there? I'd say the most annoying one besides the breeding is the PvP. Because sometimes it's just a single person must win 7 games, or you have to have it's a total contribution, but you could probably be out of PvP for that day until like for 3 hours. It's a waiting game, and you just gotta be really, really planning about it. I highly recommend making a Discord and have your team join said Discord. It's very, very important that you do. It's nice to be able to communicate with your team. We do it. For my team, we're kind of organized about it. Oh, what else did I say? I guess we'll talk about the rewards now. Alright, so for 11th to 20th, you basically get a Bonnie Bark. 11th through 15, you get rank 2. The last place is 16 through 20, get the unranked one. But this is a really good monster because it does so many things, and it's immune to possession. Basically, she can possess and totally blind you. So if she misses the possession, you're going to be totally blind. She misses totally blind, you're probably possessed. Or both effects just kind of miss for some reason. Because he's probably, the enemy is probably totally blind to you. This is a really good monster, just hands down. So many people use Ophiuchus or Growler or any really epic monster that has possession because they're usually really good. This is a really, really awesome monster to counteract with them. And the plus side is it counters itself. Bonnie Bark kind of just counters herself, even though she's immune to possession, so the possession doesn't work. The total blind will work. Such a great, 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 great monster. It's also able to do AoE, precision, and double damage, which is ridiculous. It's basically incognita, or it's just ridiculous. It's like, I think it had like the buff of Incognita with the cooldown of Ukaduma. It's like if Ukaduma and Incognita just came together and like, hey, you know what we should do? We should have like a pupil, but she has my cooldowns and your buffs. And that's exactly what they did. that is exactly what they did. Oh, it's not double damage though, it's damage boost. But you still get my point. It is basically like Ukaduma and Incognita came together, because it also removes negative effects too. It removes all negative effects, applies damage boost and precision. It's basically, that's basically just Ukaduma's skill. Never mind. Wait a second. It's just Ukaduma. Ukaduma just came in and like, here, let me be my pupil. I'll teach you this skill. It's really, really good. Use it. That is true though. It is basically Ukaduma's skill. This is Ukaduma's skill on higher stamina cost, I think. Yeah. Higher stamina costs, same cooldowns, and still amazing effects. This is such a great, versatile, useful skill, along with her other useful, versatile skills. It's just ridiculous. It's such a great amazing monster. It has so many things it can use. It has blinds, it has buffs. It's amazing. She has a 1-turn cooldown, double damage precision skill. It's not an AoE scaling, but it's whatever. But you see, it's just fantastic. Lovely, lovely, lovely monster to have for competitive play. Such a great monster, along with the other stuff that you may get. 7th to 10th place, you get a Mommy. Now, you're probably thinking, Dib, this monster's so old. It's got 465 speed. A lot of monsters nowadays are in 476. Why would I want this monster? Because it has an AoE stun. It is a monster immune to possession, and she's able to counteract monsters that are also immune to possession because she relies on stuns and not possessions. She does have a 2-turn possession. Since we're talking about it here, she has a single target 2-turn possession. She might have been the first one to have a 2-turn possession control. I think she was. But really, really great monster. Fantastic. I see 130s of these. I see it with the armor of duty plate, heavy duty plates. It's disgusting. Deniers that can hold our chest plates are like some of the best deniers in the game because it adds on to their survivability. It's really, really good. A lot of people think it's not that amazing. It is amazing. Self-sustaining deniers are disgusting. Like, they just are. They live through so many hits, and then they can just come back in games, because they haven't killed them yet. It's ridiculous. It's great. I think that was it. I think the stunning, immune to possession, that's a huge main selling points of Mommy. That's a really great competitive monster. Firina. This is the 4th to 6th place, and probably people would say this is the most underwhelming reward. I still think this is a fantastic reward. Really, really great fire buffer, good against frost teams. Like if there's monsters that are reliant on, denying with freeze, this is your go-to gal. I do believe she herself is immune to freeze, and she can give stamina back. She has buffing, she has many things to toy with her enemies, and so many things that can buff your allies. It's really, really decent. Able to hold 2 essences, so you can run a comeback essence and a healing essence. Really, really good combination. 3rd place gets a Kiridar. Now, Kiridar is in so many books. This is one of the, I'd say, the most universally good competitive monster, I'd say, because it's in so many books. It has such great base stats, and the monster does a lot of single target damage. Her damage is nuts. She has a single target, I think it was 60 to 65 damage skill that blinds. She has a stun. She has AoE damage boost. He has a AoE nature weakness, which is really good because all of her damage is nature damage, so it just scales with all of her damage. Great with guava juice. I'd say one of the more disgusting combos for nature monsters is guava and Kiridar. It's really good. Really, really good. She's able to hold a trap and a staff, so she can counteract kind of with other staff wielders. If you run the energy staff, their relics just kind of cancel out, and you're able to move freely. I highly recommend putting that relic on her. What else is there? The trap relics, you can run the stamina draining trap for that. That's really the only alternative besides, if you're running a pestilence trap team, that's also a good alternative. But you have to run like pestilence traps on a lot of monsters to make that work. The next place for second place, you get a demise. Really, really great reward. I'm just saying right off the bat, really awesome reward for second place here. For you're getting a rank 1 demise. As far as I'm concerned, in terms of light monsters, I haven't had a good arsenal. To have a rank 1 demise would be really nice to me because I already have a copy of demise. So I could probably rank her up at some point in the future, which sounds awesome to me. It's a monster. I guess I haven't really used a whole bunch. In terms of the arena, I use her in war all the time. Yeah, but in PvP, the runes I have on her aren't that great, and I never really know if I'm gonna go first before any other monsters nowadays. For the most part, I just fight X runes, so I just don't bring her all that much. But it's a monster you run full speed with, and you're solid. her main dealio, her main shine here, the main point of really, really liking her, is she's able to give any monster a extra turn along with double damage for that extra turn. So you can see the really, really great use in that. Give your extra turn to your damage dealer. You don't need to run a denier because odds are that damage dealer will just crush the enemy denier or just anything, everyone in that turn. Depends if the AoE hits. I recommend running her with Baratagor because even though he doesn't have an AoE, he's guaranteed to kill you. Like a single target damage with double damage up will kill something, guaranteed. Something on the enemy team will die with that combo, guaranteed every time. You have very low chances of actually missing. Because all of his single target damage skills, I do believe, are on a 95 accuracies. So you have a really good probability of winning with that comp. But she works with universally anything with high damage output. Basically, just want to pair up with a really nice damage dealer with really good AoE scaling or just damage, and you just win. Really, really great monster. Really busted. Beyond that, she has AoE remove negative effects and damage boost. She has life regen on an AoE scaling. She has a single target skill that removes positive effects while also doing 2 random negative effects. And she has a spammable blind, which I really like. It saved me quite a bit, that spammable blind skill. I don't think many people run it, but I run it. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. Because people run down the celebration over it. I usually like the blind. I like spammable blind scales. I think they're nice. They're great for Titan Wars, I'll tell you that much. She can hold a amulet and a staff, and since she's able to hold these relics, I've been seeing her on defense all the time. Like nonstop. I've seen her on defense so many times with either the energy draining relics, for staffs, or energy draining with the energy amulet, or I'll see like a healing amulet and a energy staff. It's ridiculous. It's really, really nice. Even though she doesn't have a defensive trait, I'd say odds are, if you can have the better base speed, you will probably win against a demise defense. But for the most part, if you're not faster and she has those relics, it's kind of hard to actually attack that. Because she might do double damage turn 1 on the attacker and just wipe you out. It's all dependent there. She doesn't have a defensive trait, but because she has relics, she has more options than she did. You can make her really, really small damage AoE skill that gives life regen to your team suddenly do like 100% stamina drain with an upgraded obliviation staff. Yeah, it's really disgusting. There's so many things relics can do for monsters, and it just gives so many monsters more options. It gives everyone more options depending on their relics. I guess it also determines whether or not those relic combinations are good. But for the most part, they give monsters more options, and it's just awesome. For first place. I said third there. I did say third. First place, you get Talika at +3 if you complete 14 laps. So most part, people usually complete the 14. If you complete 8 laps, you get 1. 10 is 2, and 14 again, rank 3. You get 70 Elementium, and you get a rank 1 Demise. So you get the second place reward. This monster, this Talika, monster here, is really, really good. I keep saying it all the time. Nature monsters are just getting better and better, as fire monsters are just really, 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 really slowly, shot in the foot, slow developing. Nature are just developing. Here's the development bar. It just went through the roof for nature monsters. This monster has AoE buffing with AoE deny. She has a AoE stun. Her ultimate is a trait disabled poison, and I think it was ignition or sunburn. It's like a DOT. It's disgusting. If you had everything set up beforehand, I don't really know how many times people will use it. I think it's depending on the situation, whether or not you have the enemies covered. I think that's it. If you've already set up deny, and you're fighting like an Agurstus or something left, or a mountain monster, then you go ahead and use it, and then you can stun them next turn. I think it's really great. But we have to see in practice. I wish it did a stun when it applied to trade disabled. I think that would have been better, but it's just like trade disabled and DOT, which I think is fine. She's able to give immune to poison to everyone, while also removing negative effects, double damage AoE. She has like AoE buffs. She's kind of like a supporter with deny skills, which may come in handy. I don't remember the rest of her kit, but I think those were the main selling points. She removes negative effects, applying immunities to poisons. She also has an AoE heal, 30%. But the hugest selling point of all, she has an AoE stun, and I think that's fantastic. And we're getting this monster at rank 3. So we're going to be seeing this all the time in PvP. Her relics are amazing. It's an essence and an amulet. So you can run the healing amulet and the comeback essence. Or, you can run the energy amulet, whatever. Depends on the war situation. But regardless, you're just going to be disgusting. You're going to have so many healing options. You're going to have so many life-sustaining options. You're going to have so many deny options. This monster's really, really good. And it's in 3 books. 2 of them are like really good situationally, like the spirit and the female. It's nice to have more options in spirit and even more options in female, because a lot of monsters in female seem to be immune to possession. And to have a monster that has AoE stunning is awesome. Her trait is hardened, so she's even more ideal to put on defense in book wars. And in good legions too, since she's in good legions. I think that's also really, really nice. She can kind of go over those rank 2 Kihakus, which I think is pretty clutch. I don't know what her base speed is naturally, but I'm pretty sure at +3, you kind of go over anything under 3. So, like the rank 2 Kyakus, I think that's pretty cool. Though you still have that trolley chance to miss, so just keep that in mind. Is there really anything else to say about this monster? Other than she's been fantastic. I'm trying to figure out, is that a cocoa bean in her hand? like that's the number one question. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys think that's like a chocolate cocoa seed or whatever. I keep thinking that's like a cocoa seed. It looks like one. Just look up cocoa seeds, and you know what I mean. Like chocolate seeds. I keep thinking that's like a cocoa seed. Oh, dude, I'm gonna call mine Cocoa. I know that's random, but yeah, it kind of looks like a cocoa seed to me. It looks like a chocolate. We're gonna say that's a cocoa seed. Cocoa seed. But yeah, that's really it for this video. Overall, I think everyone wins in this race. Like, regardless of what your team places, you are walking away with a really decent monster, which I think is good. What else is there to really say? I think that's everything. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm Dib the Awesome. If you have any questions, any at all, please let them know in the comments section below. Let me know in the comments section below. That's it for this video. Enough said. I'm Dib the Awesome. I'll catch you guys later.